In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Every student needs a safe and nurturing environment to grow and learn. And it is no different with gifted students. While academically gifted students may do well in schools, they need extra care and an environment that constantly challenges them and stimulates their thinking to reach their full potential.
Before coming to this camp, I did not even know how to connect batteries. I was a clueless little kid. So coming to this camp has made me strengthen my knowledge and broaden it.
I used to be very shy. Being in January, being part of your friends as a whole, as a family, it made me come out more often.
Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity. Every parent wants their child to learn from the best. This is what EI Asset Talent Search offers to every gifted child. With a partnership with global pioneers in gifted studies like Johns Hopkins, Purdue University, UC Berkeley, Northwestern University, and GenWise, the EI Asset Talent Search creates a platform to foster intellectual and personal growth, offering hands-on courses in AI, forensics, game design, and many more. Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity.
When I got my ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
My teacher Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना, when you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं, कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं, और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं, वो बहुत हाई लेवल भी बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स.
Work skills have improved a lot, and I have managed my frustration, my stress, my anger issues. Everything has been under control since I came here, and my patience levels have increased a lot. Like after taking up the forensics course, teamwork has been a key part to solving our cases, the crimes that we have to solve, and I feel like I learned a lot about different moral skills.
एक छोटा सा और बात बताता हूँ, लाइक व्हेन ही वाज हियर एंड आई वाज विद माय फ्रेंड्स एंड वी वर जस्ट हैविंग अ चैट एंड आदि कॉल्ड आई वाज आउटसाइड, तो मैंने बताया उनको कि ये हैज गॉन टू द समर प्रोग्राम, सो आई आल्सो पुट आदि ऑन स्पीकर एंड आई टोल्ड देम कोई अंकल से बात करो वगैरह, एंड आदि वाज वेरी हैप्पी एंड एक्साइटेड. तो जैसे फ़ोन का यार हो गया कि यार आवाज़ में ही लग रहा है कि उसमें बहुत चेंज आ गया. आदि यूज्ड टू बी अ लिटिल बिट रिजर्व्ड चाइल्ड. सोशल इंटरेक्शन में आई थिंक जो इस लेवल के प्रोग्राम आते हैं, नॉर्मली सोशल इंटरेक्शन में द चाइल्ड्स आर लिटिल बिट रिजर्व्ड.
First day when I spoke to her, I think I was the most relieved because the smile on her face was unbelievable. Like I was waiting for her to just speak to me at 9. But she was so relaxed, so calm, and it just, her face told me the story that she's enjoyed every moment from the time she's entered the campus.
The icing on the cake is the last night when we spoke with her, which was her last day, and she refuses to come back.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes about the kind of care and the way the kids are taken care of over here.
These 3 weeks have arguably been some of the best weeks of my life. It's just the people I've met, the friendships I've created, the bonds I have with them now are just something truly special which can't really be replicated anywhere else.
In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Every student needs a safe and nurturing environment to grow and learn. And it is no different with gifted students. While academically gifted students may do well in schools, they need extra care and an environment that constantly challenges them and stimulates their thinking to reach their full potential.
Before coming to this camp, I did not even know how to connect batteries. I was a clueless little kid. So coming to this camp has made me strengthen my knowledge and broaden it.
I used to be very shy. Being in January, being part of your friends as a whole, as a family, it made me come out more often.
Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity. Every parent wants their child to learn from the best. This is what EI Asset Talent Search offers to every gifted child. With a partnership with global pioneers in gifted studies like Johns Hopkins, Purdue University, UC Berkeley, Northwestern University, and GenWise, the EI Asset Talent Search creates a platform to foster intellectual and personal growth, offering hands-on courses in AI, forensics, game design, and many more. Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity.
When I got my ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
My teacher, Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना कोई. When you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं. कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं, और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं. वो बहुत हाई लेवल भी बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स.
Teamwork skills have improved a lot, and I have managed my frustration, my stress, my anger issues. Everything has been under control since I came here, and my patience levels have increased a lot. Like after taking up the forensics course, teamwork has been a key part to solving our cases, the crimes that we have to solve, and I feel like I learned a lot about different moral skills.
एक छोटा सा और बात बताता हूँ, like when he was here and I was with my friends and we were just having a chat and Adi called, I was outside. So मैंने बताया उनको कि he had gone to the summer program. So I also put Adi on speaker and I told them that कोई अंकल से बात करो वगैरह. And Adi was very happy and excited. तो जैसे फोन का यार हो गया कि यार आवाज़ में ही लग रहा है कि उसमें बहुत चेंज आ गया. Adi used to be a little bit reserved child. सोशल इंटरेक्शन में आई थिंक जो इस लेवल के प्रोग्राम आते हैं नॉर्मली सोशल इंटरेक्शन में द चाइल्ड्स आर लिटिल बिट रिजर्व्ड.
First day when I spoke to her, I think I was the most relieved because the smile on her face was unbelievable. Like I was waiting for her to just speak to me at 9. But she was so relaxed, so calm, and it just, her face told me the story that she's enjoyed every moment from the time she's entered the campus.
The icing on the cake is the last night when we spoke with her, which was her last day, and she refuses to come back.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes about the kind of care and the way the kids are taken care of over here.
These 3 weeks have arguably been some of the best weeks of my life. It's just the people I've met, the friendships I've created, the bonds I have with them now are just something truly special which can't really be replicated anywhere else.
In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Every student needs a safe and nurturing environment to grow and learn. And it is no different with gifted students. While academically gifted students may do well in schools, they need extra care and an environment that constantly challenges them and stimulates their thinking to reach their full potential.
Before coming to this camp, I did not even know how to connect batteries. I was a clueless little kid. So coming to this camp has made me strengthen my knowledge and broaden it.
I used to be very shy. Being in January, being part of your friends as a whole, as a family, it made me come out more often.
Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity. Every parent wants their child to learn from the best. This is what EI Asset Talent Search offers to every gifted child. With a partnership with global pioneers in gifted studies like Johns Hopkins, Purdue University, UC Berkeley, Northwestern University, and GenWise, the EI Asset Talent Search creates a platform to foster intellectual and personal growth, offering hands-on courses in AI, forensics, game design, and many more. Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity.
When I got my ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
My teacher, Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना कोई. When you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं. कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं, और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं. वो बहुत हाई लेवल भी बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स.
Teamwork skills have improved a lot, and I have managed my frustration, my stress, my anger issues. Everything has been under control since I came here, and my patience levels have increased a lot. Like after taking up the forensics course, teamwork has been a key part to solving our cases, the crimes that we have to solve, and I feel like I learned a lot about different moral skills.
एक छोटा सा और बात बताता हूँ. Like when he was here and I was with my friends and we were just having a chat and Adi called, I was outside. So मैंने बताया उनको कि he had gone to the summer program. So I also put Adi on speaker and I told them कोई अंकल से बात करो वगैरह. And Adi was very happy and excited. तो जैसे फोन का यार हो गया कि यार आवाज में ही लग रहा है कि उसमें बहुत चेंज आ गया. Adi used to be a little bit reserved child. सोशल इंटरेक्शन में आई थिंक जो इस लेवल के प्रोग्राम आते हैं नॉर्मली सोशल इंटरेक्शन में द चाइल्ड्स आर लिटिल बिट रिजर्व.
I think I was the most relieved because the smile on her face was unbelievable. Like, I was waiting for her to just speak to me at 9, but she was so relaxed, so calm, and her face told me the story that she's enjoyed every moment from the time she's entered the campus.
The icing on the cake is the last night when we spoke with her, which was her last day, and she refuses to come back.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes about the kind of care and the way the kids are taken care of over here.
These 3 weeks have arguably been some of the best weeks of my life. It's just the people I've met, the friendships I've created, the bonds I have with them now are just something truly special which can't really be replicated anywhere else.
In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search. A commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey. Every student needs a safe and nurturing environment to grow and learn. And it is no different with gifted students. While academically gifted students may do well in schools, they need extra care and an environment that constantly challenges them and stimulates their thinking to reach their full potential.
Before coming to this camp, I did not even know how to connect batteries. And basically, I was a clueless little kid. So coming to this camp has made me strengthen my knowledge and broaden it.
I used to be very shy. Being in January, being part of your friends as a whole, as a family, it made me come out more often.
Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity. Every parent wants their child to learn from the best. This is what EI Asset Talent Search offers to every gifted child. With a partnership with global pioneers in gifted studies like Johns Hopkins, Purdue University, UC Berkeley, Northwestern University, and GenWise, the EI Asset Talent Search creates a platform to foster intellectual and personal growth, offering hands-on courses in AI, forensics, game design, and many more. Interested? Register today and put your gifted students on the path to academic excellence. EI Asset Talent Search, where potential meets opportunity.
When I got my ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
My teacher, Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना कि when you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं, कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं, और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं, वो बहुत हाई लेवल पे बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स.
Work skills have improved a lot, and I have managed my frustration, my stress, my anger issues. Everything has been under control since I came here, and my patience levels have increased a lot. Like after taking up the forensics course, teamwork has been a key part to solving our cases, the crimes that we have to solve, and I feel like I learned a lot about
Hello and good evening to parents. Thank you for joining us today. I would like to start by congratulating all the students who have topped in the EI Asset Talent Search test and have come so far in their journey towards nurturing their academic giftedness to real life success. This is a series of webinars where we are diving deep into each of what our talent nurturing partners offer. Our first session was by Mr. Sridhar Raja Gopalan, co-founder and chief learning officer at EI. His session was about overall all our talent nurturing partners in India and the US. This was followed by Know Your Talent Nurturing partner, Johns Hopkins CTY. And today we have with us Dr. Susan Corwith, who's the director of Northwestern University Centre for Talent Development. Hi, Susan. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. And thank you to the families for taking their time this evening to learn a little bit more about CTD. I will go ahead and try to share my screen and get us going.
Yeah. So just a note, parents and students, for all your queries, please write to us in the Q&A section and we'll try to answer all of them live. Thank you.
Okay, I'm hoping my screen can be seen now. Are we good to go?
Yeah, I can see it.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Well, my goal tonight is to give a little bit of a guided tour to the Center for Talent Development's programs and resources. The Center for Talent Development is at Northwestern University, which is just outside of Chicago, in Illinois in the US. And this center has been around for over 40 years. So like some of the other partners, if you've learned about some of the other education partners, we have a long history. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit about what it is that we do, and we hope that, perhaps your students will be interested in joining us. I'm going to start with the purpose of our center, which really is pretty straightforward, pretty basic, which is to help young people identify their interests and strengths and reach their full potential. And I know your students were participating in asset testing and have done quite well. And so what you're learning about through that process is where their areas of greatest strength may be. And you may also combine with that information about where their interests lie. And combining their interests and their strengths is very powerful learning. So you'll see when we think about the programs that we do and the name of our center, Center for Talent Development, there are really sort of two key pieces that we are focused on. And on the left side of our funnel here, we're talking about challenge at the edge of competency. And what that really means is that space where the best learning takes place, where students are having to, apply new ideas and think hard and try new things, where it's not coming too easily for them. And more often than not, that comes through a combination of enrichment opportunities, getting a chance to dig deeply into subjects that may be introduced in school but aren't explored fully at their grade level, and acceleration in the domains where they have exceptional strengths or interests, or a combination of those. And that acceleration can look a couple of different ways. It can mean a younger student getting access to more advanced content. So perhaps a third grader getting access to content that's normally taught in their middle school years or middle grade years. It may be someone who's preparing for secondary school, getting access to content at the university level. Or it may mean a faster pace of learning, where a student would normally take 4 or 5 repetitions to learn something. They are only needing 1 or 2 so that we can compact and move the instruction along. So that challenge piece is really important to their talent development. And so is this other piece, this support through psychosocial skill development. And what that basically means is all of those things that help them stay motivated, help them build their confidence as learners, help them take feedback from people who are more expert than they are. There are ways to teach those skills, and it's important to teach those skills in the settings where they're learning content that is challenging to them. So we're kind of doing those things together. And I think each of us can probably imagine or remember or, put ourselves in a situation where we really had to work hard because the situation we were in was novel. We had to apply our past learning. And when we were successful with that, it felt pretty good, right? It felt rewarding. And that's the kind of experience we want our students to have on a regular basis in their programs with us, because that's how they develop their talents. Since the beginning, the Center for Talent Development has really had 4 main pillars or goals that help it fulfill its mission. And these are up here on the screen. And the first one is really around identification of interests, strengths, and learning needs. So the assessment that your children participated in are similar to the kinds of things that we look for, that we do within our own center, because our goal is to find out what those interests and strengths are and maximize those. It's really important. And a lot of the times, as you were learning through the process that you've gone through, that the tests they may take in school at their grade level don't quite tell the whole story. So that identification or getting to know a little bit more about what they're ready to learn is so important. And that leads us to the next square here of optimally matched programming, making sure students are in their zone of proximal development, which are really those education words for making sure that any class that they're taking or any program that they're experiencing is well aligned with what they're ready to learn and sort of keeping them at that edge of competence. That zone of proximal development is that place where they are learning new information, new skills. They're having to put in that effort and receive support and facilitation from an adult who's supporting them, or from their peers. They may have peers that are also working to help them. That also leads us to advocacy and education. So what we do at the center, in addition to providing programs, is a lot of parent education, working with adults, who work with our young people to give them the tools and resources to support their talent development. And then also working with schools and school districts. We have partners here in the United States, but we have partners all over the world where we help them design gifted education programs, where we help them build more local programs to support their students. And then finally, the center is really strongly ensconced in research and evidence-based practices. So since the beginning of the center, over 40 years ago, we have been part of Northwestern School of Education and Social Policy. So we do a lot of learning about the things that make programs work well, or how best to nurture talent. It's a very exciting place to be. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the audiences we serve, and I, kind of referenced that in my previous slide. But we really do have programming and resources for several different audiences. Families are, of course, pretty much on the top of the list for who we serve through our variety of programs, and through informational webinars for families, through those online and summer and weekend programs that we run for students. But those families and students are key pieces, along with the educators. Both the educators that teach in our programs, we really hope that when they're working with us, not only are they bringing their expertise, but they're gaining additional insight and expertise by working with the students on a regular basis in CTD programs, and that they can take that back to their schools. So we really are trying to have an impact on a whole universe or ecosystem of people. Get asked a lot about the center's reach, how many, students and where do they come from. We keep track of that over the years, and we have students coming from over 40 different countries and all 50 states in the US, with the largest groups of students coming from the Midwest in the US, because we are in the Chicago area. We are in Illinois. That's kind of where many of our students are coming from, but we have students from over 40 countries. So we have moved from a smaller localized program when we were first started to a national and really global set of programs. I know another thing that people are very interested in is sort of the range of offerings. I've mentioned the different audiences that we serve, but we have a wide range of services that we offer. So the center is not just one thing or two things. It's a number of different pieces, because we are trying to develop the talents of our students completely. So for our students, and we work with students as young as age 4, all the way through what would be grade 12 here or secondary school, offering assessments, much like the assessments that you have experienced with your families. We have our weekend enrichment programs, although those are very local to where we are here in the Chicago area. But then we have our summer residential programs, which I will speak to a little more directly, and I have more specific information to share with you about those. We also have had the Civic Education Project here at our center, which is about leadership development and sort of good citizenship. So a variety of in-person and online programs specific to helping students, find and develop within themselves the skills they need to be leaders, and leaders in different ways in the different domains and areas of interest that they have. We have a wide variety of online courses, everything from enrichment to explore interesting interdisciplinary topics, all the way to high school or college level courses that sort of prepare students for the future. We have an online community for parents, and we're also part of kind of the global gifted world community as well. and we work with some scholarship programs for students. On the family side, not just for students, we do have a series of webinars that we do, and we contribute to other groups in sort of their communities. We have some newsletters and blogs that you can find on our website that we would encourage you to check out. And then there's sort of the whole list of educator services, which I've mentioned, but I won't go through because I'm sure most of what you're interested in tonight is the programming for students. But we, again, do work with that group. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our residential and commuter summer programs. This is the time of year that we open up our applications for the summer programs. Our summer programs for students in grades 6 through 12, or sort of those middle and secondary years, take place on Northwestern's Evanston campus. So it's a really wonderful opportunity for students to come and visit a college campus, to experience life on that campus with other students their same age, and take courses that really challenge them and are of great interest to them. So these are what we are looking for is students who are ready for some advanced coursework, who are motivated to study some of these unique topics. And students sort of in that middle school range have a choice of some what we call advanced enrichment courses, where they're not studying for grades and they're not getting credit for their classes that would apply to their school, but they're having a chance to meet other students who really share a similar interest, who will challenge them, and to work with an instructor who's very knowledgeable in that subject matter, who is familiar with the needs of gifted students and can facilitate the learning for them. As the students get older, if they're in sort of their secondary or high school years, those courses are a combination of advanced enrichment, but more often they are sort of preparation for college or introductions to things that they might study at university or might consider as a potential career opportunity. So those courses have give students a chance to maybe meet some people in those industries in which they're studying, or to work with some experts in those areas. They can also, though, take a course that they might find in their secondary school, but which they want to accelerate through, or they want to take a little bit early so that they can replace that course with something else in their school. Of course, if they're going to do that, we want them to talk with their school first to make sure that it's the best experience that they can have. But these are really fast-paced courses, helping students develop their critical and creative problem solving. We want them to be engaged in asking questions, in digging deeply, in sort of using a design thinking process where they're really iterating and experiencing challenge and some the necessary sort of difficulties or bumps in the road or challenges or failures, so that they learn how to work through that. We want them to be thinking through different problems in their areas of interest, their subject areas, everything from perhaps math or science to writing and technology. Again, these leadership and service learning courses that they have available to them. The residential camps really immerse students in what it means to be at a college or to be at a university and what that means every day. So they are living in the residential halls with other students in the CTD program. It's contained all the CTD students together in the residence hall, but they eat in the dining halls. They have their classes in the university classrooms. They have access to sort of the open spaces on campus and sort of the social spaces, so they have a balance of these sort of recreational activities and their classes. So in our summer residential programs, there are a couple of different options. We have 1-week courses and 3-week course options. Obviously, the 1-week courses move a little bit more quickly. So if students are just interested in delving into a topic a little bit, that 1-week class is a good opportunity. For students who have maybe more intensive needs or more desire for more acceleration, want to study a course in greater depth, we have these 3-week course options. So students can come for 3 weeks in July, or in late June, early July, or come a little bit later. We have a second session in later July and early August. So those courses are typically advanced 1 or 2 years compared to what the student's age is. All right. So I've mentioned that we have a few different kinds of courses. Well, what does that really mean from the lens of talent development? Well, there's sort of three different stages or types of learning that we want students to do. This first type of learning is cultivating joy. We want students to really love to learn and to see themselves as lifelong learners. So courses that really have this focus are about exploring different ideas, discovering what their interests really are, seeing their talents come to light. The whole goal is to help them really take on new challenges and interact with peers and experts. And some of the courses that we're offering this summer that sort of fit into this building joy through discovery and exploration is a course on cell biology, something we call Fuse Encounters. It's actually a series of design challenges that students will go through, just exploring different kinds of design and engineering and problem-based learning. There's a course on nanotechnologies and an introduction to Model UN. Now, this is not the full range of courses that we offer, it's just a sample, but it's something that to give you an idea of what's available this summer that sort of gets at that, hey, we want students to just explore and discover things that are probably new to them and of great interest, of high interest. The next sort of stage in this talent development and the kinds of courses is about building foundational skills, where students really become strong in those core pieces of knowledge and those core skills that they're going to need in different domains like science or math or writing. And we really are making sure that they're connecting to real world contexts. So problems that they would face if they were working in these fields as adults in professions or in university or just sort of outside of school. So some of the classes that fit this purpose, building these foundational skills, we have a competition math course. Students love good competition. There are a lot of wonderful and highly engaging and very challenging competitions that exist across the world. And they use some of these tools in this class to help students sort of build their thinking skills and their math skills at the same time that they just have fun interacting with each other. Another one of these courses is designing machines, where students are sort of taking key concepts in physics and engineering and putting those into practice, sort of building their expertise and automaticity with some of the skills that they will need later on. We have a fan fiction writing course, so helping students put themselves in the place of authors and doing some real writing, taking stories that exist and building off of those. And another example is forensic science, where students are sort of taking the concepts and the practices of what they would do in a lab science and sort of bring that out into the field, into a real world experience. And then there's this developing expertise piece. These are, typically as students get a little bit older, they're diving into those 3-week courses. They may be working with people who are experts or professionals in their field. But these may also be high school courses that students are accelerated in. So there's a wide range of offerings here. Again, these are just a sample of what are available this summer. But biology honors is one of those. Computer engineering, we have a college writing course, a global economic course, and an introduction to mechatronics, which is with our kind of engineering department here at Northwestern. So it's a wide range of options for students who are kind of already very close to becoming expert in their subject areas and helping them sort of take that next step. So I want to take just a few minutes here or just a minute, I guess it's not quite 2 minutes, to share a little video about the summer program. And I will go ahead and play that, and hopefully you can hear it. I did set up the audio for that, but we will find out.
I'm taking everyday calculus, so I'm learning about math and functions, and I'm learning a lot of new vocabulary.
Right now, we're learning about different psychologists in history, like B.F. Skinner and Sigmund Freud, and so things that they did.
I'm spending 3 weeks in Chicago to learn what service really is, learn how actual change is made, and I want to apply these things to my own community.
I wanted to attend this program because I would get to learn things that I usually wouldn't get to learn in school.
I think the coolest thing we did was the robot that we're building right now, because it's really interesting and it uses conveyor belt systems.
The summer program is really designed to be inspiration and life-changing experience for students, and really wanted to be an optimal match for kids both academically and socially and emotionally. We've got both the academic side and the residential side, but those two work very closely together. They are integrated. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of challenge for them.
It's just exciting because, well, I am in a college and it's kind of like a little taste of college.
One of the huge aims of our program is to give them freedom, is to give them independence of thought, and to enable them to be critical thinkers, where they can say, these are the types of things that I'm interested in, these are the types of questions I want to ask.
Just stop right there. The entire video is on our website, but just wanted to give you a little chance to hear from students what they're taking away from being in the programs at the center, and sort of what our approach to the programming is from the words of the people who are working in it. I get a lot of questions from families about how to select the right program and the courses that meet their child's needs. So the next part of this session is really about answering some frequently asked questions proactively, sort of taking things that I know are often of interest. And then I know you've been offered the chance to put some questions in the Q&A. So please go ahead and do that, because we will have time to go through some of the specific questions that you have. But before I do that, I will direct you sort of to our summer program website. I think that's largely my understanding of what you're looking for at this point. But these summer programs on our summer program website include both our in-person programs on Northwestern's campus and the online offerings that we have. So there are an array of things that you will find available, and here they are. Everything from our residential summer camps at Northwestern to those leadership and service learning programs. We do offer summer programming for students pre-K through grade 5, but these are not residential. So either families are coming to the US together to spend a week or more in programming, but they're a little bit harder to access from India, of course. But some of our online choices, we do have some of these enrichment online programs for students as early as kindergarten. And when we have a kindergarten or first grader or second grade student in an online program, it's with a family member, most often a parent or another adult caregiver who wants to explore some hands-on projects with the child at home under the direction or with the guidance of a CTD instructor, and the chance to connect with other families across the world. But then as students get older, they have more independent learning options online for students. And these online programs are available throughout the year. We have winter sessions starting right now. We will have a spring session, but our most popular online session is the summer session for students. So just wanted to call your attention to that before I sort of dive into how I picked some of these programs. These first few questions were passed along as things that you all might be interested in knowing more about. And this first question I completely understand, and we get asked it quite often. And here's what I will tell you. The question being, can a student get admission to Northwestern University programs by attending the CTD program? It does not guarantee admission to Northwestern University. As you can imagine, and if you've done any investigating of Northwestern University, you will know that it is what we would identify as a highly selective university. So we get lots and lots of applications from students, from amazing students from all around the world, but not every student who applies gets accepted. And just because a student has gone to a CTD program does not mean that they have sort of a special pathway to admission. However, what we do know and can tell you is that when students participate in these kinds of programs, like a CTD program, it helps them develop skills and gives admissions officers an insight into the kinds of skills they're developing, the experiences that they're bringing. And it is a way to sort of help a student tell their story about what their strengths are. So it's not, again, a requirement to do a program like CTD's, but it can, in putting together your story or your profile as you're applying to different universities, be a positive. And we very regularly at the center communicate with Northwestern's undergraduate admissions office to sort of learn more about what they're looking for and incorporate some of those things into our programs to help students better prepare for their applications and whatever university they may choose to attend. So I hope that's helpful to know. Another question just about, access, I think, to programs or making it more affordable or easier for families to access programming because these programs do have tuition. So can Indian passport holders avail of financial aid? And the answer is that yes, no matter where students are in the world, they may apply for our financial aid program. However, we do often ask for information to be provided to us in English and to provide some explanation of what we're seeing in the financial documents that you're providing to us to tell us a little bit more about the need that you have. We will provide financial aid to help with the cost of our tuition. But we do not have financial aid for help with travel to the program or things like that. So I think that's important to know. And it's also important to know that our financial aid is not endless. We wish we had more of it, but if you are thinking that financial aid is something that you need, you can learn more about it on our website, sort of what the guidelines are. You can also email our admissions office to learn a little bit more about that. And then just apply as early as possible in case we do need additional documentation or to make sure that there is going to be some aid available. That next question, what does a student receive after completing residential courses? Lots of different things. I think the residential courses offer a wide variety of opportunities for students. You were seeing some of the students in the video on our campus in their courses. So they are participating both in their class while they're taking their 1 week or their 3 week program. They are studying one course, one subject area in great depth. So we want them to select something that's very interesting to them, that they are going to be enjoying spending all day. And by all day, I mean probably about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning until about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, with some breaks in there for lunch and other time out of the classroom, where they're really working on their projects and learning. So Monday through Friday, they're doing those academic activities. But in the residential program on the weekend, they're doing, they may sign up to go on to museums or participate in crafting activities or some sort of sports or, games that they've made up, just resting time, reading time, things like that, activities that they would find enjoyable. So they can do those in the evening with their friends and their groups and on the weekends as well. And at the end of the program, they get 2 types of feedback, or you as parents get 2 types of feedback. From their academic class, you will get an evaluation of the student's performance. So what did they do in the class? What did they learn? Whether it's an enrichment class, there is still feedback to the family about what the student was learning and how they handled some of the challenges they were being faced with and sort of the way they engaged with other students in the program academically, sort of how they built their knowledge and skills. If they were taking a course that was more for acceleration and potentially that they were going to use to help them accelerate in school, they would get their grades and they would get feedback much like you would see in school. But they will also get residential feedback. So part of the talent development and living and learning in a community is being on this, working together in a community. So we have these sort of psychosocial skills, these students learning how to be self-sufficient and sort of make decisions and work well with others, and just getting some feedback to you about how comfortable they were in the residential community and things that they really did well and things that they can continue to work on that we hope are helpful to you and your child as you continue to guide them through school and into college and beyond. So that's what they'll get. They will get these evaluations, sort of indicating that they've completed the program and sort of giving you some feedback about strengths and areas for continued growth. And those are materials that you can, keep for yourself, but can also hopefully share with your child's school or as you're planning for future programs. Question number 4 here, does Northwestern provide online programs and what's the duration of the programs? Are they self-paced? What types of courses are available under the online programs? Again, I would direct you to the website for all of the details, but quickly, in summary, yes, we do have these online programs. The course durations vary by the age of the student and the type of program. So as I was saying, if you were doing a family program together for the youngest children, those are 4 weeks in length. They're quite short. They sort of cover some projects, activities around a subject, but we know parents do not have endless time. Families do not have endless time. So 4 weeks are typically the duration of those. Courses that are designated as enrichment or what we call core essentials, which are kind of deeper dives into math topics or science topics or language arts topics, those courses are anywhere from 6 weeks to 9 weeks in length. They tend to align with at least some of the quarters in school here in the US, but they are just a little bit longer period of time for students. The high school honors courses and advanced placement courses that we offer are more like a regular school semester, maybe 60 up to 16 weeks or so, or the entire school year, a 9-month school year. The summer courses are compacted a little bit into 9 or 11-week offerings for those honors and AP courses. They are what we call, they're not so much self-paced as they are asynchronous, meaning the little difference being that students in our courses, there is an instructor who is checking in with them. They do have some times when they connect, live. However, most of what they're doing is asynchronous learning. They have, a time period and a project that they are to be working through. They're given that sort of guide to complete those courses. So they don't all have to be online at the exact same time. It can fit a schedule because we do have students from, many different states and many different countries who are taking the same class. So we're trying very hard to meet different needs across different time zones. So I'm happy to answer more questions about those courses when we get to a more open Q&A. Some of the other frequently asked questions that we get, sort of the difference between enrichment and accelerated programming. And I spoke a little bit about this at the beginning of the presentation, that enrichment is more of that deep dive into a topic, depth and complexity around, something in, might be in the biological sciences. It might be something for younger students around dinosaurs or, some of those forensic science type courses. They are challenging. They're designed to be challenging, but they're not about, quickening the pace or earning a grade. Whereas some of the accelerated programming at CTD is a little bit faster paced, a little higher intensity, particularly in the summer 3-week program. If a student is taking perhaps an honors biology class, that's a compacted, faster paced biology course, one that would normally be taught over the course of a year in school. It's being taught in 3 weeks in the summer. That would be an example of accelerated programming. So they're still covering the content they would in a typical school year course, but they're doing it at a much faster rate. And they're still covering the important concepts at the depth that's needed to learn, but they are not sort of doing the extraneous pieces or the same number of repetitions that they might see in a typical classroom. So that leads me to this question of, is one type of program better than another? And the answer is no. It's not a matter of better or worse. It's a matter of what is your goal for your child's learning? What does your child want to accomplish? What do they really need right now? And their needs may change over time. So it may be that this summer they just want to explore a topic that calls their name, that they think sounds really interesting, that they would love to spend time with other students and a teacher exploring that topic, and they just want to do that for 1 week. Then that's going to be the right fit for them. If you have a student who is really just in need of higher level courses, really is wanting to dig deeply and move quickly through content, they just are maybe not experiencing that as much as they could be in their regular school, or there's this particular subject that they are passionate about and very advanced in, then that accelerated 3-week program is probably the better fit for them at this time. And again, you want to talk together with your child. You want to think about what you've learned about your child's strengths from their assessments and make that decision about what works best. And then that gets to how you should select programs. For the Center for Talent Development programming, we want you and your child to look at the list of courses and the types of courses that are available and really pick one that sounds very interesting and matches with their strengths. So if you saw in their asset testing that they were very strong in mathematics, we want them to be taking a course with CTD that fits along that line. Because if they're going to come for 1 week or 3 weeks, and they're going to spend each of their days in a class with other students working on this topic, it needs to be one that they think they're pretty excited about, and that they feel confident that they will be appropriately challenged in. We don't want it to be overwhelming. We don't want it to feel like it's too difficult or too easy. So selecting the right program in the course is doing it together to look at where their talents are so that we can develop them. The criteria for eligibility is listed on our website, and it really does depend on enrichment classes versus accelerated classes. Students who have participated in the asset testing and sort of reached specific levels are provisionally qualified, we call it, which means then, it's easier to sort of go through the application process. Most of our courses that you're applying for in the summer program, the residential summer program or the online program, require submission of those asset test scores. And once you've done that, that's, really kind of you should, help meet that qualification. For some of the more accelerated classes, they may require an additional teacher recommendation, someone who can speak to their readiness for an accelerated class, along with a grade report. So something from their school indicating that they are ready for this accelerated class. And why do we have these eligibility criteria? So that it is a good match, so that students get into that course and feel like they have the background knowledge to be successful, that they're ready to take on that challenge. Some of our courses for our very youngest students are what we call open enrollment. So kindergarten, first grade, early elementary ages, they may not have eligibility criteria because they are so young and they're just getting started and we're still learning a lot about their needs. But anything from kind of late elementary school, middle school into secondary school does have those eligibility criteria so that students kind of get in there and are ready to go. You often get asked why a student maybe wouldn't be accepted to a class, and that would largely be only if there's not good demonstration from their test scores or from their grade report that they're ready for the class that they're applying for, or that perhaps they're applying for a class that doesn't match the grade that they are in school. When we say that our courses are for students grades 6 through 12, like kind of middle high school, that is the grade that they're currently in, or the one that they will be going into in the fall. And the content of those courses is already advanced 1 or 2 grade levels. So where, Center for Talent Development is different from just regular school or other regular enrichment programs, we are, advancing the level of content or the course content 1 or 2 years right away. So if you have a child who is, in middle school, they will be taking course content that is, maybe even close to high school. And if you feel like your child needs even more acceleration than what we would typically provide in our classes, you can ask us about that and apply for an exception for a more accelerated class. That is also about talent development. We want to be responsive. I know there are fees and tuition for our programs, our residential programs, our online programs. That is because we are what we call a self-supporting institution. So we have to raise our own money to cover the costs of our programs. So all of our tuition really goes to cover the teachers, the residence halls, the food that we serve students, all of those kinds of things. So that's where the fees come from. It's not for us to make lots of money because we don't. We're a nonprofit organization, but the fees cover the actual costs of running these programs for students. And that's why we do also have some of this financial aid. As I said, I wish we had enough to cover every request, but we do have financial aid for students, and how to apply is on our website. All right, so I'm kind of in the last bit of the questions that I often get, and then I'll turn it over to get questions from those of you who are in our audience. And the first question really shouldn't be much of an issue because I believe most of you who are here today have some test scores for your student, and your student has done very well. And congratulate them for their academic achievements. But if for some reason your child has a course that they are really interested in and they are very passionate about, but their test scores just don't quite meet the requirements, then you can certainly contact us and apply using a portfolio. So if your child's teacher or your grade report looks pretty good, you can apply for a course that maybe doesn't, the test scores aren't quite there, but there are other ways to demonstrate that your child is ready for that and is very passionate and wants to try to apply. So the final couple questions, how does CTD promote itself? Well, we engage in conversations with families and do these webinars and share material on our website, those kinds of things. But the people who teach for us, our staff, really are educators, both from the United States and from around the world. Many of our teachers are high school level teachers, middle school teachers. Some of our instructors are graduate students or postgraduate students at the university. Some of them are, professionals in their field. And occasionally we will have university faculty. However, most of the faculty are quite involved in their own graduate or undergraduate teaching and research work, but they work with us closely to design some of the courses and to help us by providing their graduate students to teach some of the courses for which they are qualified. So it's a really nice array or range of experts that we have teaching students, and the staff, the teaching assistants or the residential assistants, are often college students, graduate students, people who work in residence life in college and universities to support students and are very familiar with what their needs are. So I'm going to stop there, and I know it looks like there are some questions in the Q&A, and I'm happy to address those.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Susan. That was an amazing session. I mean, it was very helpful and insightful as well. And I'm not a student, but I'm just so excited even looking at the videos, seeing students get hands-on experience, in areas that they are really interested in. And I think even from the point of view of what students can expect from these programs, from the residential as well as the online programs, some of the logistical bits of it, you've pretty much covered it all. But we do have a couple of questions. I'll just take them up. I think we've addressed this before, but we have a parent who's asking which age group are the courses for?
The residential programs really start with students who are age 12 and older. So residential programming on our campus, grades 6 through 12, equates to about age 12 through 17 or 18. The online programs, as I was saying, there's something available for every age from age 4 all the way up through the end of secondary school. But the in-person for the younger kids, as I said, is no residential option. People would have to come and travel here. So that's a little different.
Right. Our second question is, at which location are the summer trainings held? Would it be at 617 Dartmouth Place or a different place on the campus?
Excellent sleuthing on our website as to where our office location is. 617 Dartmouth is our office, so we would not be able to hold the classes here. However, we use many of the different academic buildings on campus. In the summer, our staff moves from our smaller office space over to the School of Education, and we run out of the School of Education, the Technology Institute. We kind of take over the campus in the summer, so we're just about everywhere on our campus.
Right, right. We have another question. A child got 99 percentile in asset talent search and maths in grade 5, and she will move to grade 6 in the March of 2025. Is she eligible for the 6 to 12 category scholarship?
That is an excellent question. And yes, we tend to look at what the class placement is that they are in school, but you can certainly talk to people in our admissions office to make the best selection, but they would be eligible.
I think there's another question about the visa assistance. Would you like to take that up, Susan?
Let's see, is there something, students are, the information about what is needed is on our website. There is a page about international travel and students coming internationally. It used to be that students had to have an educational visa, but that has changed, but there is a process. So our admissions team is the best group to answer specific questions about visa requirements.
All right. I think there are also a couple of questions regarding the email ID. I would request parents to please go to the website. I'm sure you'll get the contact details there. Then we have another question on when do we hear about the financial aid decision after applying?
That's a good question. We try to, do those reviews every week. So as long as you have a complete application, it should go through the process pretty quickly. But the system we use is called FACTS, FACTS. It's an online system where people enter, kind of their family information. They upload some documents that are requested. And it may take a little bit of time for you as a family to put that information together, but once a complete application is in the system, then it gets reviewed typically within a week and you would be notified about that.
Great. So I think there's one more question where a student has applied for the summer program using the asset score, but it is asking for additional information. So should they reach out to the admissions officer for that?
Yes, if it's asking for additional information, it's typically a teacher recommendation or a grade report, but the admissions office can tell a family exactly what's needed.
Okay. We have one more question on how does the program prepare students for future academic and professional challenges?
That is, well, a couple of different ways. Is the academic content is not just about, learning the specific material at that grade level. It is about the skills that they will need for critical and creative thinking, for problem solving, for, thinking ahead to study skills and sort of executive functioning, managing their time. So all of these activities, whether they're in the residence hall or in activities or in their classrooms, are aimed at not just learning about the topic of study, but sort of thinking about what they're going to need as they prepare for studying that subject in high school or preparing for that in college. And our teachers are hired specifically for their knowledge of kind of what's coming in the future and helping students prepare. And that's why I was talking about the evaluations that students get, speaking specifically to, how able was, or how comfortable was a student asking questions or speaking up when they were having difficulties? How often were they sort of, taking on challenges and being willing to keep going even when it was really difficult, so that we can start to build those skills that they will be needing. For students in secondary school, taking some of the more professional, like there's often an architecture course or a course that we do in combination with a technology organization. Those are being taught by some of the professionals who can then speak to what people need to be successful in those fields. So we're kind of always with that eye to the future.
Right, right. So we also have a couple of questions on the timeline for registering for the online courses.
Well, as soon as the application opens for our online courses, all the summer online courses are on the website and the application is open. So families can apply now for a summer program, but the summer registration process or application process is open from now through, May or early June, depending on the course. But however, we encourage families not to wait because some courses do fill up pretty quickly. And if there's something that you really want your child to have a chance to enroll in, earlier application is better. Because it does take a little bit of time to submit your test scores or to, follow up with any additional information that might be needed or complete that financial aid application if that's going to be part of the process. So the earlier you can do that, the better. If you're looking at a spring class instead of a summer class, the registration for that or the application for that will open in another couple of weeks. We typically wait for our winter session enrollment to end before we open the spring. Summer is kind of a interesting time because everybody's kind of planning ahead for summer. So we open that application in January for summer before we kind of open our spring.
Last two questions. The first one is, what is the duration for online course for grade 8 students?
Oh, okay. There are a couple of different options for grade 8 students. But I would say the majority of the courses at that level are between 9 weeks and 16 weeks, maybe either a semester or a full year. So anything from 9 weeks to a full school year are kind of the duration, but it depends on if it's a course more focused on enrichment or a course more focused on, accelerated learning for, high school level subjects.
And is it the same for grade 6 students also? Because we have a similar question.
I see that. Yes. Yeah. Grade 6 has even more options. A truly enrichment class for grade 6 would be 6 weeks in length. Those deeper dives would be more like 9 weeks. And then, of course, those high school level courses can go throughout the year. It's important to find the course that you're interested in and then read the full course description and what kind of course it is, because it'll then tell you the duration of the course.
Right, right. And last question, are there online courses for astrophysics, forensic science, and how long is it for?
There are courses in those subject areas. They may not be offered every single session, so it's important to kind of check our course catalog for fall, winter, spring, and summer offerings. And then the duration will depend on, the season and the type of course that it is. So I wish I could be more specific about it, but just kind of using our course page, and if I can share my screen again, I can probably get to that. See if I can go to our Course Explorer. On our Course Explorer page, you can really, select what it is that you are looking for at your different grade levels, and it'll pull up the courses that are available. You can use some of the filters that we have to find more specific information and narrow down the choices that are there. So I really strongly suggest taking some time to just sort through, find some things that are of interest. But you can also go to the program page that I had up originally, and there are kind of course charts that are available there as well to give a little bit broader picture of what's available throughout the year.
Great, great. Thanks a lot, Susan. We have also shared the website link and the admissions and general queries email ID on chat for all our parents. Thank you so much for joining us today, Susan. It's been great interacting with you and just about on hearing the programs from you. It's been really helpful.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate the invitation, and I hope if families have questions, they will email our admissions office and let us know.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, parents, for joining us today. Good evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.